so nervous to do this video only because that voice inside my head got. I did the craziest thing I thought I could ever do. I have been thinking a lot about my passions and where I want to go in my life and what I want to do, and 2022 was such a hard year for me. I went through ups and downs. We built our house, which I'm so grateful for, but there's so much behind the scenes that people don't talk about. I kind of lost who I was in my passions, in my day-to-day life. My life was so focused and hyper-focused on making sure our house was done and completed, and we had some issues with our home. But anyways, I forgot to focus on myself and I forgot to focus on my passions, and I kind of let my passions die. So I'm here to tell you today things that I'm going to be working on to refuel my passions and to live out the dream that I've always dreamt, and how I'm going to go about it. So as you notice, I have my phone here. I can't keep focus on everything, so I have some notes here just to keep me on track. But some of the things I'm going to be doing and what I've been doing in my life is I've always written down a vision board. So each year, I would say at the end of the year, so end of December, going into the new year, I always write down what I want for the next year. And I find that, honestly, only one year, well actually 2022 really was the year where I feel like I didn't really check anything off my vision board because I wasn't focused on those visions. But this year I'm getting it back. But in previous years, everything that I've really wanted and worked towards on my vision board, I've gotten. It's so crazy. It's just like that saying, people say, oh, I need to see it to believe it. No, you need to believe it to see it. Believe that everything you want in your life is already yours and work towards it. Use your energy in your day-to-day basis to work towards that dream, because anything you want, anything you dream, you can seriously have. My tip to you is to start with a vision board, write everything you want down. It doesn't even have to be for that specific year. It could be a 5-year, it can be your whole entire life, what you want out of your life. Me, I like to do a monthly vision board. I also like to do a yearly vision board, and I like to do a 5-year vision board, just because my 5-year vision board is the big dreams, the dreams that people would be like, you're not gonna do it, but I absolutely will because I believe in them. But those dreams are the biggest ones that you're gonna have to put your blood, sweat, and tears into, but it's going to happen. My monthly goals are the little goals that I wanna see, self-improvement, health-wise, stuff like that. And then my yearly goals are travel and self-help, working on myself, and just stuff like that. So I suggest to you guys to definitely do a vision board, and you will see your life transform in front of your eyes. The next thing I would say to do is to really work out a plan on how you're going to fulfill your vision board. So for me, I'll tell you guys, in 2020, so 2019, December, going into 2020, I wrote that we were gonna buy our home. I'm not even kidding you. It was not financially at that time, people looked at us okay. And little did we know we would be going into the pandemic in 3 months from then. But I wrote down on my vision board for 2020 that we were going to buy a house. On my 5-year plan, I think it was 2017, I wrote down that we were going to build a home. I'm telling you, in December of 2020, we signed papers to build our home. And when that happened, I wasn't shocked because I believed it was going to happen, but I then had this sense of fulfillment because it happened. We did it, we made it happen. How did this happen? So I'm telling you from my own experience, I'm not even educated on this. I have been self-educating myself, just listening to people and their theories and their mindset work, and I've just based my own knowledge and my own beliefs and built my whole entire life pretty much. So when I tell you that you need to write down your goals and write down how you're going to do it, it will happen a lot easier when you have a solid plan. Not saying that your plan will go to plan, but at least you have some sort of structure that you can go and base everything that you do in your day-to-day life on that plan. Another thing I want to say to you guys is everything in your life, everything that you get out of your life truly is based on what you do in your day-to-day. So if you're surrounding yourself around people who are driven and who are successful and who have the mindset that you want, you are going to go far in life. If you surround yourself with people or even things that are draining, that, you know, they don't have the same beliefs that align with yours, it's gonna be a lot harder, if not impossible, to reach those goals, because everything you feed your mind, everything you feed your sight is what's going to become your reality. So that's something I've really been focusing on. I had to take a step back for the last 3 months, to be exact, from my life at that time and reevaluate what really was fueling my purpose and my passion. More quotes. I live for quotes. If you follow me on Instagram, you know, like, I am all about motivating people, and I find that quotes really do that for me. One quote that I love too is, the true reward is in the lives that you're able to touch and the people you know you've impacted. And for me, that's more than any number. Like, when I first started Instagram, I used to chase the number because I thought that like defined me. The number of likes and the number of comments mean nothing to me. What means everything to me is the messages I get in my DMs, the DMs that I have, the conversations that I have with people, the people who message me and say, you know what, Keisha, when you said this, it touched me. When you put that quote up, you know what, I can relate to that. That means more than any view, any like, anything. So one of the quotes that I always like to refer back to is, there are 2 things you can do with change. You can either react to it or you can participate in it. So reacting to it is pretty much like, oh, poor me, like, you know, this is terrible, like, I can't believe that this is happening. And that's who I used to be. I was like the definition of, I don't like change. Now I choose to participate into it. I like to look at everything when it changes and I'm like, okay, what is this teaching me? What am I supposed to take from this? And how am I gonna grow now that I know this, or that I'm going through this? And once I shift my perspective on change, so much good has happened. And I'm not just saying this, like, this is truly what's happened to me. And I feel like I need to tell people the recipe that I've dealt with. So I like to listen to a lot of self-help. And for me, I listen to a lot of podcasts on YouTube, and I love listening to different people's perspectives. Everybody has a story, everybody has a journey, and we've all been through something different. So if we sit and actually listen to people and what they've gone through and their journeys, we can actually learn a lot. One thing that, I forget who said it, but it said, if you're committed to what you believe, you will never ever be brought down. Because someone who truly is committed has been brought down before they've come up. And that is so true. Like, for me, I just, like I said, in the last 3 months especially, I have been working on building somebody else's dream. I have been using my time, my energy, and just like not feeling truly happy. I was losing myself. I wasn't sleeping well. And it has nothing to do with them. It's just, I know what I want in my life, and I know what I want to bring out in my life. I know the legacy I want to leave. I know the drive that I have, and I know the potential that I can reach. So for me, I found myself hitting rock bottom. And then I had to come to terms with myself, like, okay, we need to stop being a people pleaser now. That is something that's been extremely hard for me, and I'm still working through it, but we need to now recognize that you're going through a stage of people pleasing. You are doing this day in, day out because you don't want to upset people, and that's okay. Like, obviously I'm empathetic and I care about people, but at the same time, it can't be at the expense of myself and my family. So I had to take a step back and make a crazy decision, and here I am today, feeling so free that I made that decision. Yes, I might have let people down, but at the end of the day, it wasn't like malicious. It wasn't anything that I wanted to like hurt somebody. It was just me doing what's best for me. And still in the back of my mind, that little voice is telling me like, oh, like they're mad at you or whatever. But I can't let that voice, that terrible voice, in my head break my vision, break my drive to reach to what I know I can do. So for me, my biggest challenge in my life that I've had to really overcome is people pleasing, because we can't please everybody, and that's okay. The main person we have to please is ourselves. If we're not happy doing something in life, we have to change the direction. We have to change the direction. We have to chase what we want in life, something that's going to fulfill you and bring you happiness. It might not bring you the most money, it might not bring you the most clients or whatever, but in time, your passion fuels everything. So once you're doing something that you're truly passionate about and you're living your authentic self, you'll see the money come, you'll see the clients come, you'll see the people that you've impacted because you're living your authentic self. So I told myself that no more people pleasing, and I have to do what's best for me. I have to chase my dreams and my passions and what I truly believe in. Talk about the things that put the fire in my soul, and I feel like that's where I'll feel the most happiness, where I'll feel the most fulfillment in my life. So number one, cutting out is people pleasing. Number two is truly doing what makes me feel the most uncomfortable, because when you're in a comfort zone, you're just sitting there in limbo and you're like, why am I, feeling sluggish? Why am I not happy? Why am I not, as excited as I once was? Because you're sitting in a comfort zone. You have to go out there and do things you've never done before. Even if you've said you'll never do it, we're allowed to grow, we're allowed to change our minds, so just do it. And number three is actually living on purpose. Everything that I do in my life is going to be purposeful, down to my routine, down to what I cook for dinner. Everything in my life is going to be purposeful, because when I live with purpose, then there's no room for anything but happiness and joy and fulfillment. So those are the tips that I'm giving to you guys, and I hope that you've taken something from this. I know it was kind of all over the place. I'm trying to feel out this YouTube video, sit down, inspiring type thing, but I hope it brought you some sort of spark, and you're ready to write your visions down, you're ready to write your goals down, you're ready to write your intentions down for this year, for this month, for this lifetime, and I hope that you chase everything that you believe in. See you in the next one, guys.